Rico's World Tour continues. The Godfather, Mr. Michael Stone, joining us all week this week. And don't worry, there is a bit of a scheduling snafu. So the Drops tournament will be next week. Without Hatchet, we can't execute it. Kenny's head would explode. Exactly. David is a 5-year veteran. It requires multiple screens. David has a Bloomberg terminal.
By the way, you're just being politically correct. Basically, the reason is Wojo's family was in town this week, and he'll be drunk for the next 5 days.
So it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very real.
Yes.
All right. Odyssey.com rewind if you missed anything. We started the show looking at the Tigers' first 97 games. What was the one word? I'd love to, again, if you want that, go get it. Also, College Football 25 came out. It's Men's Day. But, Stoney, you had a night at the ballpark Friday.
Yeah.
And I love this angle to it because it's why I have such vitriol for the team.
Yeah.
Because they rob us of what you experienced.
Great. My wife's one of her good friends, his daughter's.
Was this the one that you went to the bedroom in the song? Did you just hear the song that played?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Carry on.
And anyway, her friend Shell's daughter is getting married. So they had a bridal shower this weekend. So my wife and all their friends and their significant others, they said, let's go to the baseball game. So we got like 20 tickets. I don't know if they realized it was Ohtani weekend or whatever, but down the left field line, section 140, I believe, is where we sat. And it was hot as hell because the sun on third baseline is brutal, especially the 6:30 game.
Yeah.
We had dinner across the street at Union Assembly, and we had a great time. And the place was packed. It was somewhat loud, and it was, we did all the things that fans do. We're sitting there, waving and stuff that you'd probably be disgusted by, but next thing I know, we're all in the Jumbotron, all those ridiculous things for a little bit. Anyway,
Kenny wants to know. Let's just answer the question. Did you have a daiquiri?
No, I didn't have a daiquiri.
All right, Kenny, there you go. See? Go ahead. Land the plane. What's
the
topic?
The point is, I felt like, oh, my God, this is what it was like a decade ago when you go especially on a weekend and a beautiful summer night.
That's right.
And the ballpark is packed and you're looking forward to every pitch. And, look, we weren't looking forward to every pitch. We were just having a good time. But the bottom line is baseball, when you have a full ballpark or, 35,000 people in there at the time, it's a great experience. It's a wonderful night, even when the team's not that good. But when the team is good, remember what it was like. And that's what we're talking about. God, we used to come down here, a few times a summer with friends and just enjoy good baseball. And it was electric. And it hasn't been that way for a long time. But I got to get a little bit back on Friday night.
So here's, to me, the question for the people.
And it was like the Miggy thing, it got to that point for like 1 or 2 games. But other than that, yes.
Count. My point to you is this, Mike. It could be that way right now had they actually tried this offseason. That's my problem. It's what I keep going back to because, again, they're red hot their last 10. And they've never been in the category of, say, the A's or the White Sox or the Marlins. They're not a terrible baseball team. Their pitching is 90-win good. Their hitting primarily this year has been about 75-win good. That's been the issue. So the point is, had they done anything this offseason, I think you'd actually have more of those nights. This town, all this town requires is knowing their team cares, knowing their owner cares, and putting a product out there that's even remotely worth their time. And this town will show up.
No doubt.
Mike, that's my problem with this whole thing.
I get it. Look, I'm under the belief, and it's not an excuse, that they thought wrongfully the reason they didn't go get those bats that you craved was they thought the Torkelson we saw at the end of last year, the second half of the season, was what we were going to see this year. They had no idea Carpenter was going to get hurt. They had big expectations of Parker Meadows, and that's where they thought.
But again, hold on.
But that's what they thought. That's their fault.
Still doesn't fix third base.
No.
Still doesn't fix the lack of any veteran leadership on this team. Now, I won't accept. I'm not mad at you. I'm just saying that is such a faulty game plan. So here's my question to the people. Besides Ohtani coming to town, and it got Stoney, and again, the adoring public was all over him. You were doing autographs in the bottom of the fifth.
Thank you very much.
What will it take for you to go back to that park? In listener land, what will it take? Is it the team returning to being 90-win good? Do you go already? Do you swear them off until you see certain things from a payroll standpoint or a player standpoint? What will it take for you to return to Comerica and for there to be more nights where Michael Stone graces you with his presence? That's really the topic.
Or do you just say, you know what? I know the team stinks. Or if
they don't stink.
No, okay. Or I know they're not that good, but it's the summer. It's a beautiful night. I'm going to go to the ballpark and have a good time.
Well, that's Kenny's approach, daiquiri.
Yeah, or beer.
That's Kenny's approach.
I get it.
Jeff Rieger, everybody. How are you? Looking very tan, I'll tell you. Look at this guy. Beautiful. Sun and fun. That's Rieger's middle name.
Paul just said he looks like A-Rod.
He's getting there.
Oh, my
248-539-9797. Kenny, ticket text. What do the people have to say about it? And again, if you want the whole first half in one word, Odyssey.com rewind. If you want college football 25, Odyssey.com. It's all there for you. Kenny, go ahead.
Was at Comerica Park this weekend. Was a beautiful scene. Lots of Tigers fans. It's sad that we won't get to see any of that often.
So when do we? You know, when do people rally? Like, to me, it's simple. If this team has a big offseason and you can sell actual acquisition, I think you could have it next year. There is a way to sell Colt Keith and Riley Green as the faces of the franchise. There's a way to sell that. And if you go out and add two major acquisitions, remember, trades are legal, I think you'd have it next year. Maybe that's me wishful thinking on my part.
Yeah, probably. I mean, they have they have money to spend, and they have money coming off that payroll too. I mean,
you know what? Let me say this. I'm sorry, and I'm not coming at you. I don't want to hear another word about money coming off the payroll.
I know.
They're already 60-some-odd million below league average.
I get
Ain't
it.
nobody trying to hear it.
I know, but, you know,
Come on.
your boy Connor's off the payroll next year. I know.
Canna should be off the team.
I know. That's why I was kidding.
I know. But I would love to know. Because, again, like you go back to it. What was it, last Monday night? It was a perfection, a perfect summer night. And it was on FS1, and the Guardians are in town, and they're on television. I don't want to hear about a reported number. I'm telling you what it looked like. It looked like an Oakland Athletics game. And that's where I go, if I own this team, I would be in overdrive to get my product to where people wanted to be there. So, look, I think there could be more nights like it next year, Mike. I do. But they got to spend. It's got to be two free agents. People know who they are, either trade or free agency. Colt Keith, Riley Green, and then, yes, the promise of tomorrow, the promise of Jackson Jobe, the promise of it won't be Max Clark, but
No,
you get my
Chase
point.
Young probably.
If he could hit a fastball. But yes, it's just they have an opportunity to give you what you want, but I don't have a lot of faith.
I get it.
I'm
I
sorry.
understand why.
I feel terrible.
Look,
I don't want to be that way.
The resume speaks for itself, Mike, and you can't argue with that because of all sports, baseball always seems to find its level. And unfortunately, the level the last decade in this town has been below sea level.
And I'd love to tell you it'd be this season. But the problem is,
they're not going to pass 4 teams.
Well, the issue is the math is very difficult. They've only got 65 games left, and they're 7 games behind the Red Sox, the Royals, and I think 5 games behind the Astros. I don't buy the Rays. I'm cool if you guys don't either.
No.
But my issue is you're still in a position where you're trading Gio Urshela. You're trading Jack Flaherty. You're trading Carson Kelly. It's hard for me, beyond it just being nice to see them win, giving people some joy this weekend with a couple of walk-offs, one of which Dave Roberts should be fired for. But we don't do LA radio, and no one here cares. The point is, on that level, it's nice. But no, it's hard to buy in based on if you're trading these people. Now, again, I'm going to bring up an idea with you later this week. There are going to be players traded with term. It's going to be very expensive. But if you could make a trade where you're a buyer, but it's also adding to your core.
Right.
I think that's a way to engage the fan base where it could bring you to the ballpark because it's just a better product. Will they do it? I highly doubt it. But we'll talk about it. 248-539-9797. Kenny, we'll get the ticket text momentarily. We'll take care of some business, get a few phone calls as well. Touch the table on football, bottom of the hour. And yes, Scooble got screwed. If you want to call and invent on that, you can. But really, who cares about the All-Star game? We all know he should be starting it. But is there anyone really upset about it? I doubt it.